Well, that was a fun round yesterday. It's Split B's turn now to race, and again, it's good to be back in Japan. It's a 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series for round 5 here at Autopolis, and welcome to everyone on board who's watching this stream right now. Now, here is the track map of the track in the mountains of Oita. We're talking about a track length just around 4.6 thousand kilometers, and with an average track width of 30.5 meters across the track, 19 corners in total, 9 left corners and 10 right-hand ones. Have a lap count around 23 laps actually. We'd like to correct this mistake. Now, of course, we talked about how this is Shirogane Noah's home race here in the mountains of Oita. Well, we already settled that with the fairy tale victory of Alex Bowen representing Shirogane Noah in Split A Race 2. And as for the target lap times, let's bump up the target lap times a bit. We almost cracked into a 1 minute 44, so it's up 1 minute 44 lap time. Can we see that in Split B? And as we're going to be talking about the championship context here in Split B, let's look at the championship standings after round 4, heading into round 5. Phu-My replaces Gabriel Ariadne in the number 1 Tokino Sora Nissan, 374 points. Almost 100 points ahead of Catherine Vasiliev, also a new entrant representing Usada Pecora in the number 11 Honda, replacing Muhammad Zohair. Callum Gibbons replaces Muhammad Shakir Freza in the number 64 Roboco Lexus, 262 points in total. Azad in the Nakir IMA Lexus has 232 points, replaces Callum Gibbons. In the number 18 Lexus, carries over that 232 points. And as for more new entrants below the top 5, Sergei Petrov, number 5 Nakamata Kayunisen replaces Tom Pauly. Carries over that 176 points. Muhammad Cashew, 138 points in the number 66 Yozo Ramel Lexus. And the other new entrant here is Putri Farah Kamal, number 63 Yukihana Lamy Honda. He has 92 points on the board, currently 13th in the championship standings. Now, as we're going to be transitioning over to qualifying, we'd like to welcome everyone here in the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series Split B Round 5 stream. And obviously, it's been a very, very fun race that we had in Split A, and of course, we'd like to carry this over into Split B. And speaking of the qualifying session has now gone underway. And joining me on the commentary booth is none other than Callum Gibbons. Say hi to Callum Gibbons as he's about to take us through to the Autopolis circuit.
Yes, good day everyone, hope you all are doing well. As I said, Split A providing a fantastic show yesterday. A bit more of a strategy game that was. It was a bit difficult to overtake with the technical nature of the circuit, but there was definitely a variety of strategy to play with the undercut and overcut strategy. And with a tire degradation, we definitely saw the difference in pace on those strategies, and we're expecting more of the same today.
Yeah, speaking of strategies here, we're looking at a lot of tactics here that we're going to be seeing here in this racetrack. And of course, right now, with the hot Japanese summer approaching the Japanese archipelago, with temperatures soaring up to around 26-27 degrees, we'll see tires warm up faster than they did back in Fuji and Okayama when we hosted that round on March and April respectively. So we will expect the undercut strategy to be quite stronger than it was the past few rounds. And speaking of rounds, let's talk about the new entrants here. Now we're talking about how we have all these new entrants here. Putri Farah Kamal replaces, of course, Muhammad Shahid Reza and previously Santi D in the number 63 Yukihana Lamy Honda. Now she's eager to bring home one for the team for Honda, and she is quite loyal to the brand. She understood the concept of VTEC and of course understood of, you know, the power of dreams, all basically. Sergei Petrov replaces Tom Pauly in the number 5 Nekomato Kayodesen, Ukrainian native, so give a shout out to him. Azad in the number 18 Nakirayame Lexus replaces Callum Gibbons there. Thomas News, of course, Thomas News. Muhammad Kaishi replaces Azad in the number 66 Rosa Ramel Lexus. And here's Callum Gibbons in the number 64 Roboco Lexus, currently third in the championship hunt, behind Catherine Vasiliev and Phu-My. Here's Raj Kaczynski looking to try to make a bounce back after pretty meh first 4 rounds. And then there's Santi D. Catherine Vasiliev, though, currently second in the championship standings, looking to make her stride in Holo GT3. This is her first round in the series, so give a grand shout out to Vasiliev here, Spanish native. And then there's Andrew Rakimbayev, number 30 Okami Mio Honda. for Phu-My. Current championship leader takes over Gabriel Ariadne's efforts in the number 1 Tokyo Sora Nissan. And then we're gonna be scrolling to some of the other drivers. Kizuhara Leo is also here as well. We haven't seen Matisse Juan de Porto. Oh, yeah, there he is. He's on his outlap. So we're gonna go into one of the onboards of one of the drivers. Here's Vladislav Domashnev, but actually, we're gonna be talking about Andrew Rakimbayev this time. So Gabo, let's commentate a lap here in Autopolis.
Yeah, so obviously you want to set yourself up on the penultimate corner, long right-hander, heading to a left-hand kink for the front straight, and ideally you want to get a good exit to yourself up for the main straight. It's a very long main straight, so obviously 6th gear, top speed, in hard braking zone into turn 1. Takes a bit of curb there, but still keeping it nice and tidy. Now heading down towards turn 2, which is flat out, so flat right kick, no issues there. Then to turn 3, one, the first low speed corner, so this more technical section in the first sector. Again, taking a bit of curb, no issues there. It's a bit of a bumpy area, this one, and very technical, so very easy to unsettle the car. 27.7 for the first sector. First hairpin again, taking a bit of curb, decent exit, and turn 7 and then turn 8. Medium speed right hander, using again nice and tucked in there, keep it nice and tight, and then exit into turn 9 again, another flat right hander, and then the next hard braking zone of turn 10, the second hairpin. It's a bit off camber, so ideally you want to keep on right on the inside, get that good grip, get a good exit for what we call the roller coaster straight. As you can see, Autopolis, much angulation, so very much downhill for this section. Can be a bit harder to brake, but still keeping it nice and tidy for turn 11. And now heading into sector 3, another technical section here. Low medium speed right hander, so turn 13 on the left, turn 14 on the right, so double right hander. Take a first apex, effectively double apex corner. Then heading under the bridge, got to be careful of that curb, because if you get too much on it, it does dip off on this side, so still keep it nice and tidy. Then the penultimate corner, a bit of a long right hander, a little bit squealy on the wheel, but still keeping it a bit tidy. And then flat out through the final kink, and looking for 1:45.9 so far, so we could get 45, 46, a bit off the pace for that banker lap, so 2 seconds off, so we'll be looking for a better next lap.
Yeah, looking for a better opportunity next time. And speaking of better opportunities, Raja Kaczynski puts his car, the number 74 Yuzuki Choco Lexus, in the front row. Remember when I said how Kaczynski wanted a good performance there after the first 4 rounds? Meanwhile, Tomasha set the second fastest lap time, bumps Kaczynski out of the front row. But still, Kaczynski in 3rd place. He is primed to score well for the Choco Sensei. So great job, qualifying effort from Kaczynski, as we're seeing a lot of the other drivers trying to set their lap times. Well, it's hard though, 8 seconds behind. Farakamal has improved with 47.226. Kizara Leo is only 10th fastest so far. Phu-My, current championship leader, is currently 5th place. Callum Gibbons is currently down 12th place. And as for Catherine Vassileva, she's now in 8th place. So interesting qualifying session for the championship contenders.
Interesting indeed, and like Split A, we are seeing the Lexus lockout for the, well, first 2 rows this time around. It was usually a podium lockout for the Lexus, but this time they've taken up the first 4 positions.
First 4 positions for the Lexus cars indeed, and keep in mind there's 7 Lexus cars currently in the Split B field. Now, of course, we mentioned this earlier that the Lexus cars, are literally based on the Hololive members running the halter top outfit top in their idle uniform. So we have 7 Hololive members in Split B, who just so happens to be the lineup for Sunday's Link Your Wish performance. So we have Thomas Nukes in the number 43 Shishiro Botan Lexus, number 90 Akira Rosado Lexus by Domashnev, Kaczynski in the number 74 Yuzuki Choco Lexus, Aza in the number 18 Akira Ayame Lexus. The Porto is pretty decent there in the number 3 Tsunomaki Watame Lexus, Cal Gibbons number 64 Roboco Lexus, and Casio in the number 66 Mel Lexus. So as for all the other drivers' performance, we're going to be talking about the halter tops later on. Kizuhara Leo is going to finish his lap time 1:32, 33, 34. And we'll be taking a look at some of the other drivers as well. Kizuhara Leo crosses the final 2 turns. 40, 41. Let's see where Leo ends up on the grid, while Farah Kamal gets that sweet slipstream. 47.532. Pretty decent lap there from Farah Kamal. Puts themselves 9th on her Hololive GT3 debut. The Porto holds on to 7th. Will not continue on this qualifying session. We're waiting for 6 more cars. Thomas Snooks, 37, 38. Very, very good lap there. It looks like he's going to secure his second pole of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series Split B season. 46.031 does not improve, but still very good lap there. Snooks is showing himself to be the king of qualifying for Shishiro Botan. Count Gibbons, 43, 44. And it's not going to be... Actually, yes, it is going to be an improvement for Count Gibbons. He's going to try to bring himself closer to Phu-My in the championship standings. Very good lap there from Gibbons because he peels into the pits. Santini and Catherine Vasilyev. As said there, lap times, no improvements there. Santini does improve but does not bump any other driver. We're looking at Vladislav Damashnev, who is going to complete... no, actually, we're going to be taking a look at Phu-My as we're going to be transitioning over into the starting order. Phu-My does not improve, stays 6. So we're gonna be taking a look into basically the starting lineup for the race 1 here in Split B. So Gibbo, I would like to hear your thoughts first for the basically the Split A's qualifying session.
As I said, even though we have more Lexus in Split B, still continuing that theme of Split A, so it seems that Lexus has the qualifying pace for this round, but however, the other cars do come into their own a bit in race pace, so it's still pretty even in terms of performance, so you never know what might happen during the race.
Yes, we may never know what happens. That's the beauty of motorsports, that is unpredictability. Meanwhile, Thomas Snooks takes his second lap time, second pole position of the season in the number 43 Shishiro Botan Lexus, 1:45.908. Very decent job from Snooks. Vladislav Damashnev starts second on what's possibly the best ever qualifying position for the number 19 Akira Rosendal Lexus. Good job from Damashnev, only 4 tenths behind Raj Kaczynski in his best ever qualifying position in the number 74 Yuzuki Choco Lexus. Starts third with only 6 tenths behind. Count Gibbons is ahead of Phu-My by 2 spots, so he'll have the advantage in the championship just a little bit. He's only 6 tenths behind the pole time. Azad, number 18 Adak-RMS Lexus, only 7 tenths behind, as does Phu-My in the number 1 Tokino Sora Nissan. Suharto, the most recent race winner, will start 7th, only 8 tenths behind in the number 20 Shiranui Flare Nissan. Matisuan Porto, number 3 Tsunamaki Watame Lexus, only 1.2 seconds behind, looking to make an improvement here. Catherine Vasilyev way back in 9th in the number 11 Usara Pecora Honda. Let's see where she can basically jump up from there. Kizara Leo, number 40 Murasaki Shion Honda, 47.226 is outside the top 10 in qualifying once again for the number 40 Murasaki Shion Honda. Looking to find some improvements there. Sergei Petrov, new entrant, a Ukrainian by the way, in the number 5 Nekomata Kayo Nissan, starts 12, 1.3 seconds behind. Santini, number 9 Minata Aqua Nissan, 1.8 seconds behind. In Santini is number 9 Minata Aqua Nissan, so basically starts 13th. Kashiu, new entrant in Hololive GT3 in the Uzura Lexus, number 66, only 2 seconds behind Thomas Snooks' pole time. And Rakhimbayev though starts last in the number 30 Okami Mio Honda. So we're going to be transitioning over into the race. Actually, we're going to be transitioning over. Hang on. So it's going to be a beautiful race. It's a beautiful day here in Autopolis. We're about to see 15 more Hololive GT3 race cars take to the grid. And we're going to see these cars in full bore. It's round 5 in Autopolis here in Split B. Race 1 is about to get underway for these drivers. Snooks is on pole, Damashnev is in second. Wait for it. And it is go. And look at this. Roshinsky has a very good launch there. Tries to snook up the inside of multiple other drivers here. Let's see if he makes a dive bomb. Tries to make it 3 wide. Don't make it 3 wide. You know, that's very sensible from Kaczynski to not ruin other people's races and not cop up a penalty there. Snooks and Damashnev are currently 1 and 2. We got a lot of tussle there between these drivers. Oh, seeing a lot of positions being traded here. Gibbons and Azad battling between positions there. Phu-My and the Porto. Look at the Porto trying to make a move around the inside of Phu-My. The Porto is going to try to bring that number 3 Tsunamaki Watame Lexus up to the front. While Suharto holds on to 8th. Farah Kamal's in 9th. Vasilyev's in 10th. The pretty decent first lap there. Rakhimbayev and Leo also gained 3 positions there. Santini and Sergey Petrov boxed down on the start. Again, it's very manic first lap. Well, not as manic as the first 2 races that we had. Wait. Santini, will he try to make a move around the inside of Rakhimbayev? Yes, he does. It's going to be an Akushio battle once again between Santini and Kizuhara Leo. They're barreling down the roller coaster straight, and it's Santini's corner of turn 11. It's Santini's corner. So again, we're seeing a lot of tussles left, right, and center on lap 1 here in Autopolis.
Yeah, did a good jostle, but overall still very clean, unlike what we saw in Split A. Paul Dan Powell getting absolutely taken out in Split A, if you remember that. Nothing of that sort this time, so overall clean. Everyone's still there. Let's get racing.
Let's get racing indeed. Gibbons tries to catch Kaczynski. Gibbons is going to try to snag 55 points in this round against Phu-My, who's looking to gain only 12. This will do him a lot of favors in the championship in the number 64 Robocall Lexus. And as we're going to be taking a look into the live gaps here, we're going to be taking a look into the progress chart as of lap 2. The Bordeaux gains 2 positions relative to his what you call starting position. Cashew gains 3 positions as well, so very good job from Cashew as well. Because Hara Leo again drops off on the start as the Sergey Petrov. Sergey Petrov currently last in the running order at the moment, and we're on board with the number 64 Robocall Lexus of Caleb Gibbons. Meanwhile, we'll be switching over to intervals. The gaps are currently under a second for a lot of these drivers, but that's only because we've only started the race and we have like 21 laps to go here in Autopolis. So, of course, actually, we're looking into Cashew, who is really pulling in a dive down the inside for Cashew. Carries off a lot of speed into that high speed S and into the roller coaster straight. It's Cashew's corner relative to Vasilyev. Vasilyev is dropping down the order. We'll keep switching over the cameras, and it's Cashew up in the top 10.
Yeah, just getting that good exit off the inside, as we mentioned before, that hairpin before the roller coaster straight, slightly off camber, so if you're on the outside, you are at a disadvantage, and so using that inside line very well.
Yes, to make use of trying to make full use of the track there. Mama Cashew, very good job here from the Maldivian. Now, we also wanted to talk about how diverse basically the field is. We only have one representative we don't have a representative in Africa, so that's one thing. Oh, look at this. He's trying to take a peek around the outside of Farakamba. That's going to mean he's now going to be under pressure from Vasilyev, who's going to try to reclaim that top 10 spot. Vasilyev is getting very close. Oh, it's getting pretty close. I will try to make a move around the inside. Not quite. Meanwhile, Gibbons is trying to get Kaczynski, who is dropping off some pace there, losing touch to Damashnev and Snooks. It's Snooks' race right now. Snooks is currently in the race lead, and as we're in lap 3 right now, let's take a look into the race wheel monitor. Who will be the first to pit? The answer would be Sergey Petrov, Kizuhara Leo, and Callum Gibbons, and Phu-My. These will be the drivers who will be coming into an undercut strategy. And these undercut strategy will be very crucial, as you will have more pace than the other drivers on your respective stints, and you may gain time while you're in your second stint against the other drivers who are getting pretty slow on their first stint. So you may be able to pass them on the pit stops on the strategy rather than on the track, since this track is pretty difficult to overtake.
Yeah, difficult to overtake indeed, but with the undercut, of course, you may compromise yourself towards the end of the second stint. We do see some people make the overcut but have more pace towards the end, as those who did the undercut have worn out tyres. So ideally, those who do undercut, get the pit stop, get out on clear air, get some fast laps in, and cover them off.
Thomas Snooks is leading comfortably, by the way, 1.5 seconds ahead of Vladislav Damashnev, who is looking to score his basically his first podium finish as a driver, but the second podium finish for the number 19 Aki Rosenthal Lexus. Now, we'd like to thank Roboco and Aki Rosenthal for dropping by to Adak-RMS Twitter account, that's my Twitter account, by the way, to give support to the Hololive GT3 Japan series. Aki Rosenthal and Roboco are one of these members who have noted the existence of these cars Meanwhile, Gibbons is getting quite close into Kaczynski. Will report on the battle here later on. But as for Count Gibbons and Vladislav Damashnev, seeing a lot of battles. A lot of big tussle there between a lot of drivers. Cashew tries to make it past. Some of the guys have went off wide. We're going to be taking a look into the replays there right after the race. Farakamal's gone wide. And that's going to bunch out a lot of the drivers here in the field. A bit of a manic stuff here by lap 4. Rakibayev on the inside. Sergei Petrov tries to take over 14th place. They will want that silver spoon between these two drivers representing the two of the three and to some people 4 members of Hololive Gamers. We're going to be taking a look at the replay what happened between Vasilyev, Cashew, and Farakamal on turn 1 on lap 4. However, the case it's gone pretty insane there for these drivers.
Yeah, getting into a little bit of a tussle there. Might have been a little bit of 2 wide or even 3 wide action, and because of that, they've now pretty much held each other up and now their own little train here, and for the tail end of the points paying position. So as you can see, between 8th, 9th, and 10th, the gaps have increased.
Of course, between Suharto and Cashew it's around 2.2 seconds. Between Cashew and Vasilyev is 2.2 seconds. As we're going to be taking a look back at the race wheel monitors, we'll see where Kaczynski will end up. Kaczynski will not be the first to pit, though. It will commit to an in-between strategy, which is between an overcut and an undercut. Well, relative to all the other drivers here, he will overcut some other drivers. He will be undercutting some of the drivers. Gibbons is catching up. 148.058 is pretty much faster than Gibbons. Will they be moved down the inside? Gibbons thinks better off, thinks of the championship context. He has around 200 plus points, only just under 100 behind Phu-My in the number 1 Toronto, so he thinks better off it.
Yeah, thinking about that championship context, I also want to go for the aggressive dive too early. I think you want to probably maybe save those towards the end if you want to get a bit aggressive, but at this early stage, there's still plenty of time.
Plenty of time for sure. We are currently crossing over into the quarter mark of the race, the quarterway mark that we're going to be reaching for soon. Here's Santini and Kizuhara Leo. Santini is quite slow off the line. He is pretty much losing ground and pace. Kizuhara Leo is catching Santini. It's an Akushio battle between these two drivers, Santini and Kizuhara Leo. Rakibayev and Petrov. We can see a good amount of damage there on Petrov's car, so that's not going to do him much favors. But whatever the case is, we're going to be taking tabs into some of the battles here that we may want to take a look. The Porto is holding on to 6th place very decently. Now we're talking about how the Porto wants to perform in this car literally just a day after Tsunamaki Watami's birthday. So Tsunamaki Watami, if you're hearing this, happy birthday to Tsunamaki Watami. I already made a post about you and the Porto's efforts in Hololive GT3. But right now the Porto is trying to race for your sake to try to bring home a podium finish. Now, outside of Sean Pauli, who I have noted that has ended his points paying streak of 9 races with a pointless race in the Split A Race 2 here in round 5 at Autopolis. We're looking at the next most consistent driver here in the Porto. One of the only few times where the Porto has not finished in the points was, I believe, to be at Sepang actually, at Sepang Race 2, where the Porto was already out of the points to begin with, but got tagged by Sean Pauli back then, driving the number 5 Nekomata Okaigu Nissan. So the Porto is looking to continue his consistent run in the points, basically taking over the reins from Sean Pauli there. And in some cases, consistency is key, but if you want to fight for the championship, you need to climb further up the standings and the current running order.
Yeah, especially of how the scale works now, championship standings. Obviously, the gaps between the points awarded for the top end positions get wider, and obviously you don't want to compromise yourself in the championship if you're finishing towards the tail end of the points. So consistency is all good, but you know, to be the best, you got to be right up there.
Cashew is catching up into Suharto. He's actually eating up the gap between Suharto. Cashew is getting really feisty and racy there throughout the middle stages of the race, as we're going to be taking a look into the race field monitor once again. Now Santini is running low on fuel. He's on fumes right now. Kizuhara Leo as well, and Rakibayev as well. Sergei Petrov and Count Gibbons, Phu-My will be trying to commit to that strategy. Meanwhile, Farah Kamal is currently down in 11, trying to catch Vasilia. Catch is also going to be trying his best to catch Suharto. Good exit, good exit. Try to have that good exit there, Cashew. Meanwhile, Gibbons is still far back. Trying to save the tires, save the pace. Azad sets his personal best lap time, 47.362. As Cashew is trying to catch Suharto. Will there be a move? There will not be a move. Farah Kamal is not going to be making a move either. Leo's not going to be making a move. We're going to be waiting for the pit stop cycles for sure to see who's going to come out on top, given that given Autopolis' tricky and technical nature.
Yeah, so if we look at split A, it was around lap 7, 8, 9 that we did see the first pit stops being made, so we'll probably be similar here. See, for the last podium position, the gap has closed up a bit now. Kaczynski just holding up Gibbo slightly, so it looks like a little mini battle pack forming. So it's going to probably turn from a two-way battle into a potentially four-way battle if Porto can catch up.
Yes, it's going to be basically a crapshoot for who gets third place. Domasnev and Snooks are pulling away from this battle for third. Kaczynski is pretty low off his qualifying pace. He's got pretty good, decent qualifying pace, but the race pace is not showing up for Raja Kaczynski. Count Gibbons is catching up. Azad is also catching up as well. The Porto and Phu-My as well. And as for the championship context here, Phu-My is still going to score 12 points. Gibbons is going to score a solid 43 points. So it's good. It's going to be a good way to eat up the chunk of the championship eat up the chunk of points relative to Phu-My in the championship standings at the moment. And as for Gibbons, he would like to have more points too, but of course it's basically a risk assessment for some of these drivers here. Would you want to risk getting more points? Would you want to risk crashing yourself to get more points? That's going to be a question that Gibbo might just want to answer.
Yeah, there's a risk assessment here, but as you can see, 48 at the moment. Kaczynski, Gibbo and Azad still been held up. The Porto in the 47, so you know, even with that risk assessment, I think they want to get the move on, so maybe expect a potential dive sometime or an undercut.
Meanwhile, Santini going to try to commit to the undercut strategy. Currently, lap times are at a 47.48. So we're going to be taking a good look into where Santini's pace is at the moment. Again, we're going to take a look at the race field monitor. Phu-My, Count Gibbons will be next to pit, and Rakhimbayev as well. And Kizuhara Leo too. So watch for these guys trying to commit to the undercut strategy. Wow. Oh yes, there's going to be a battle here for third place. It's going to be pretty manic, as we want to see. Kaczynski is still holding on to third. No race pace relative to his qualifying pace. He's losing touch to Domashnev and Snooks, and I believe Kaczynski is going to come in to a slightly earlier pit stop than everyone else. So they want to pay attention to Kaczynski's strategy here at the moment as he tries to hold up the rest of the field.
Yeah, the train is just getting slightly longer now as the laps go on. Still putting up the field, still 6 tenths doing Gibbons and Azad, 4 tenths Kaczynski, Gibbo, so it's still kind of even pace to Porto, 4 tenths out, so it's sort of like even pace at the moment, but no one really budging.
No one's budging yet, just yet. Gibbons is going to try to have a good run there off of 18 and into 19. As the drivers are going to be clocking in their lap times, we're going to be waiting for the next lap to see where Santini ends up relative to the rest of the field. As for Andrew Rakhimbayev is looking to make his next pits. Is looking to be the next driver to make his way to the pit stops. And yes, he does. He's making it to the pits. As actually, Sergei Petrov was trying to think of going to the pits as well, but thinks otherwise. So Sergei Petrov is free to run. Currently, the lap times for Petrov is only a 1:58.32. So Sergei Petrov will really need to try to pick up the pace if he wants to try to challenge for points.
Yeah, a bit of a slow lap there. Might have had an off somewhere, but I think thought about going to the pits. For otherwise, you know, keep it. Even though those tires are worn, they're still quite warm, so you still have that bit of grip in there compared to those that have just pitted. So maybe a potential overcut there.
Potential overcuts indeed, as Kizuhara Leo also actually peels into the pits as well. Kizuhara Leo has just gotten out of the pit lane, crosses over the start-finish line. And of course, Kaczynski is now 8.5 seconds behind the Mashnev. The Mashnev is actually keeping tabs of Snooks, so we really want to take a look into the strategies between these two drivers. The Mashnev will be the next to pit, actually. So the Mashnev is going to commit into the undercut strategy, as does Sergei Petrov next time by. And as for Thomas Snooks, he's actually going to be committing to the overcut strategy like he did in Boyaram Race 1. 2 weeks ago. We're going to be seeing Snooks try to commit to the overcut strategy, and let's see if that overcut strategy pays off, because back then in Split A, Race 1, the overcut strategy pays off for guys, drivers like Alex Bowen and Orihara Izaya, who tries to keep it consistent in their first stint, while the guys in the second stint gets caught up in traffic. And here's the Mashnev peeling into the pits.
Yeah, to go to the pits and restricted one and only pit stop, one stops for everyone today. We don't really have those no stop strategies that we did see some of the previous rounds, and no two stops, so it should be all consistent one stop from everyone.
Consistent one stops as Sergei Petrov also peels into the pits. We'll wait and see where Kizuhara Leo and Santini end up. Kizuhara Leo has the slight advantage over Santini and crucially ahead of Andrew Rakimbayev. We're seeing lap times of around 1:47 and 1:48 right now for those who have yet to pit. Let's see where Leo ends up as he's currently crossing over into turn 18. The long right-hander, then switches over into the kinky left-hander. Sorry about that. Into turn 19. Leo's barreling down the main straight. 4th gear, 5th gear. He's going to be crossing over the start-finish line. 1:53 to 1:09. It's still not representative yet. Santini does at the 47.883 personal best.
Yeah, I believe that was possibly still an out lap, so a bit slower there, so give it a couple of laps so those tyres to warm up, we should see more representative times.
More representative times for some of these drivers, Snooks, and actually, yes, the Mashnev. Remember, the Mashnev is also peeled into the pits as well. So we're going to be taking a look into the gaps between the leaders and those who have already pitted. Kizuhara Leo is only like a minute away, so he won't be competing for the win. The Mashnev is only 48 seconds, so we're going to be seeing the basically the gaps shrink down as the Mashnev sets in faster lap times. And as for Kaczynski, he's also quite decent in pace as well. 47.349 for Thomas Snooks. Decent for him as well. Kaczynski, Gibbons, goes into the pits. Azad, Deporto stays out.
Oh, interesting. Kaczynski and Gibbons pitting at the same time may not be the best call, because you're stuck behind your opponent and you follow him, and if you're still stuck behind one of the pits, then you just have zero gain whatsoever.
Zero gain whatsoever for those who have pitted at the same time, but maybe for the other drivers, it may just well be it, because this race, you're not fighting for we're not fighting one person, you're not racing one person and one person only. You're going to be racing multiple people at the same time. And for Kaczynski, his race is with the Mashnev, his race is also with Thomas Snooks. And as for the Mashnev has just peeled into the pits as Kaczynski lost out the battle to the Mashnev. And here is... Oh, there's contact between the two drivers exiting the pit lane. And Gibbons actually has the advantage over Kaczynski. What an interesting turn of events between these two drivers. But fortunately, these two drivers managed to get away unscathed for most of the pits.
A little bit of damage, but given possibly pit crew just had the slightly faster pit stop. Don't know if there was any possibly unsafe releases there, but obviously that pit crew's made it work.
Pit crew's made it work for Gibbons as well, as he's now ahead of Kaczynski. Kaczynski is now out of the podium. Meanwhile, it's going to be taking a look into some of the other drivers here. Thomas Snooks has yet to pit. He's going to be one of the last drivers to pit, by the way. It's going to be the next driver to commit to the pit stop strategy. There's Azad in second place, who's going to be the next driver to pit. We're going to be seeing their battles relative to the Mashnev, Gibbons, and Kaczynski. Carter and Cashew are also going to be trying to make roads into the pits. Azad continuing on, Deporto also. While Suharto is going to be holding on into the current strategy at the moment. Suharto is staying out. Castillo is also staying out. Vasiliev and Farah Kamal. And meanwhile, the matchup is actually eking out just a little bit. Remember, the gap was 48 seconds, but it's now 47.4. So the undercut strategy may just as well work for the Mashnev if he can hold on to track position. But later on, with Snooks with the faster and warmer tires, Snooks may just be able to attack later on into this race. You could be seeing a good finish there. Who knows?
Well, he's obviously got the ideal outcome there. He's got new tyres, out and clear air, can just knuckle down, get some fast laps in a 47.1, so definitely a quick lap there. One thing I might want to take note of, Deporto was obviously close to the Gibber-Kaczynski battle there, with Gibbons and Kaczynski holding each other up at pit exit. Deporto may have an opportunity to jump them both.
Yes, they may have an opportunity for these drivers here, and currently the gap between Azad and Gibbons right now is under 40 seconds, so it's going to be very likely for both Gibbons and Kaczynski to jump Azad and Deporto. Meanwhile, we're going to be taking a look at some of the live gaps between the multiple drivers here. The Mazda is now 47.0, could be in the 46s and the 45s given. We'll see how, we're going to be seeing how this works for pit strategy here at the moment, but it's going to be a 46.90 and a 46.8. Snooks is going to need to get a pick-me-up there in his strategy if he wants to go to pit. And yes, Thomas is responding.
Yeah, looking to see those lap times, looking to cover that off now, just, you know, getting those fresh tyres now. Obviously, we'll be down in temperature a bit. We'll need a couple laps to warm up, so we'll see how that ends up.
May see how it ends up indeed, as we're going to be taking a look into the battle for a gross. Actually, no. Snooks and Suharto, Cashew, Vasiliev, and Farakamal. The rest of the drivers have pitted. That's almost everyone who's already pitted. Here's Vladislav Mashnev trying to get over into the final two turns. We're going to be taking a look into Snooks. Snooks is still stationary. They have yet to fully service the car. Here is the Mashnev rounding off 18 and 19. Snooks has gone out of the pits. Here is the Mashnev barreling down the main straight. The gap was 2 seconds. Let's see where the gap ends up. And Snooks manages to cover the Mashnev on pit strategy.
Yeah, just able to cover that there. I think the gap's possibly eked out a bit. 46 is at the moment for Gibbons and Kaczynski, so they've warmed up their tyres as well. So I think that's really everyone has pitted, and that's, yeah, nearly everyone that's pitted. I think Deporto is and Azad are the ones remaining.
Last drivers to pit are these two drivers indeed, and as we'll be taking a look into Azad and Deporto committing to their overcut strategy, the pit window is around 45 seconds, so they may not be able to cover Phu-My, but may just be able to cover Suharto, Leo, maybe Vasiliev, and me as well. And as it stands right now, we're looking at the tire life for some of these drivers. The ones with the oldest tires are, of course, the drivers who have yet to pit, but for those who have already made their pits, now Santini has really old tires. Only has 6 laps under it. Rakimbayev has 5 laps. But meanwhile, Sergei Petrov has 4 tires. But look at Cashew and Farakamal, 3 laps younger on their tires. Vasiliev has 1 lap younger tires than, 4 laps of younger tires than Leo. Meanwhile, Deporto and Azad. Actually, no, just Azad, who's going to be going to pits. TS1 Deporto finally leads in the number 3 Tsunamaki Watame Lexus, but that's only because of pit cycles.
Yeah, trying to stretch out that thing, get those fresher tyres towards the end. As I said, we did see people who made the undercut have the initial pace, but end up higher degraded tyres towards the end. So Deporto looking at stretching out that first stint.
Stretching out that first stint as we see some of the Shirogane Noel large flags out there. Still up for full display even after they stopped, even after Alex Bowen scored that amazing win back in Split A. And Azad has lost out over multiple of the Lexus drivers there. It's currently a Lexus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cashew is currently being held up against Sergei Petrov, and Santini, Cashew, I believe, has the fresher tires against everyone else there. Farakawa also has the fresher tires, so expect them to catch up as they now have the warmer tires to catch up to the rest of the pack. Raji Kaczynski is in 5th, the Mashnev is in 3rd. The Mashnev chances of a 2nd place is now out of the question. Well, it's still in the question though, but still, it's a net 2nd as the Porto have yet to pit. Gibbons and Kaczynski are hot on the heels of the Mashnev. Meanwhile, actually, we're going to be taking a look into some of the fun facts. It's the Shishiwata 1-2! Shishiwata 1-2, Shishiwata being Shishirobota and Tsunamaki Watame. The Porto, you can see the Porto running across turns 18 and 19 right now. The Porto is representing Tsunamaki Watame. Thomas Snooks is representing Shishirobota, and as of right now, both drivers are getting clean into the race strategy at the moment. The Porto now peels into bits.
The last driver to make their pit stop, so that's it. The whole field now having served their one and only pit stop. And Snook should be resuming the lead here. Dimitrov in second and Gibbons in third.
Damashnev second, Gibbons third, Kaczynski fourth, Azad fifth. While Kaczynski is trying to be on the heels of Gibbo. Gibbons in currently a net third place, will be scoring 55 points in net positions. Nose is barely down the main straight. Look at here the sounds of those V8s. Very nice there. Mashnev is into the pits, Gibbons and Kaczynski is in fourth. The border just wheels into the pits, manages to exit just ahead of Azad. But Azad is still barreling down the main straight at full bore. But the Porto manages to hold on to fifth. Good job there from the Brazilian.
Yeah, just holding that position there, but obviously on cold tyres, so Azad will possibly have a look during this out lap. But as I said, not really much opportunity to overtake, so just, keep that defense going and should hold that position.
We're going to be taking a look back into the progress charts here to see who gains the most. The Porto started 8th, has now climbed up to 5th place. Fortify come out, drops down from the points down to 14th in her Holo GT3 debut. Tantini gains 2 positions, Cashew gains 1 position, and Gibbons crucially gains, getting pretty close in between Leo and Suharto. Gibbons meanwhile gains 2 positions, so meanwhile it's going to be taking a look into the battle between these 2 drivers. And as of right now, Suharto is getting pretty slow off the corners. Leo has the cornering speed advantage, and looking at the gaps right now between drivers, the interval gap 5/10 separate between Suharto and Leo. Kaczynski is still getting close to Gibbons, only just under second, only 7/10. And for Azad, he's only under 8/10. So, and actually, we're gonna be taking a look back into the tires. Who has the freshest tires of them all? The Porto has the fresher tires, and he may just be able to catch Kaczynski for a possible snatching of 4th place. And then there is Noose is going to be pulling away from the Mashnev. It will be a great feat for Gen 5, who have yet to win a race here in Holo GT3. And I believe it's the only generation in the Holo GT3 series who have yet to win a race. Gen 0 already has 2 winners in the Kinosora Nissan and the Roboco Lexus. Gen 1 has Akai Hato Honda, the Ozorama Lexus, Shirakami Fubuki Nissan, and amongst the other things. In Gen 2, we have Ozora Squadro Lexus, won in the season opener back in Fuji. And then there is also the number 18 Nakayama Lexus, who also won a race. In gamers, there is the number 30 Okami Mio Honda. In Gen 3, Gen 3 I believe is the first generation to have all of the cars win races. The Gen 3 cars split Bororam Split B with the Pecora Honda and the Flare Nissan. In Autopolis Split A, the Marine Lexus and the Noah Lexus basically takes over Split A here in Autopolis. And then in Gen 4, of course, you have the Himawari Luna Honda, 4 wins already. And that's pretty much it for Gen 4, and that leads us to Gen 5. And looking at the trends right now, Thomas Jones is going to be a favorite to win Gen 5's first race in Holo GT3 representing Shishiro Botan.
Yeah, it would be a good performance indeed if you can hold on to that position. Go back to looking at the gaps between the drivers, I think. Gibbo now eyeing up 2nd place at the moment, so it's caught up to Dimitrov. And is looking for a good exit around the penultimate corner down the left-hand king. Obviously, slipstream not usually working here as well due to tower altitude track, but definitely having a look now. It's still to play now for 2nd place.
They're trying to break the draft there. Vladislav Damashnev, Clown Gibbons has the inside line into turn 1. Here's an overtake into the first turn. Oh, it's going to be pretty clean. Takes a bit of curl. A lot of sparks flying for Callum Gibbons. He's not made the line work there on the inside of turn 1. He's going to be under pressure from Raja Kaczynski. He's going to try to make a move around the inside. Kaczynski going to try to get close into Gibbons, down into the technical section in sector 1 and into the hairpin. No dive bombs around the inside just yet, but we're going to be taking a look into and see how Kaczynski is going to try to eke the gap between basically the leading trio battling for 2nd place.
Yeah, I think turn 1's still going to be the main overtaking opportunity. We did see some overtakes towards the hairpin, but before roller coaster straight, which is coming up to now, but not close enough here. So I think it's going to be turn 1 to look at, but obviously taking too much curb on that first attempt and bottoming the car out. So we'll want to try better next time.
Next time by in the main straight, they're going to be trying to get their pace in. Eduardo is catching up into Suharto. Suharto is making that descent the widest descent possible in this race here at the moment. We only have around over less than 6 laps to go. And right now, Leo is trying to pass Suharto, but it's to no avail at the moment. Gibbons is going to try to get a really good exit there into 18 and into 19. The gap is currently 0.3 of a second, actually 0.2. Easy now, tucked in behind, and actually Gibbons has dropped out just a bit between the Mashnev, but who knows, there could be a move down the inside. Both cars are barreling down turn 1, no move yet. Gibbons gonna try to hold on to that 3rd place at the moment. It's gonna be very good in the championship context as Phu-My is currently in 7th. Gibbons is in 3rd. We will tail 55 points over Phu-My's 12.
Yeah, taking the safe option that time around, just not close enough to go for a dive there. As we were mentioning before, slipstream not as effective here. Autopolis sitting 3,000 meters above sea level, so with that lower air density, downforce is not as effective, and same goes for the slipstream.
And currently, the Mashnev has the better exit off the first hairpin. Gibbons is on the racing line at the moment, as it seems, because his ski is not far behind. Leo is trying to catch up to Suharto. Trying to think of a move, but Suharto has that inside line covered. And Leo's probably just too far back to try to make a move. And Leo is currently losing just a bit of a touch. But he is gaining there on the high-speed corners. Suharto is struggling on the S's. Let's see if Leo is going to try to make the banzai move down the inside. Thinks better off. It's not close enough. Leo tries to have a better exit off the second hairpin. Not good enough there from the Malaysian. As for TNTD and Sergei Petrov, they're battling for 11th place. The Celebs holding off to 10th place, the final points positions. Meanwhile, for Gibbons and Kaczynski, looking at the gaps right now, the battle for second is still heating up there. We are crossing over to around 5 laps to go. Gibbons tries to get the slipstream there, but the Mazda has the better exit. But the gap is closing, 316, 292. Ooh, it's going to be pretty close there. Will there be a move? Not yet. Again, like you mentioned, the slipstream not working due to Autopolis' high altitude nature. So the engines are not going to perform as well, and the downforce is not going to perform as well. So they're going to slap in as much of a wing as possible to carry into the corners.
Yeah, also we've got a couple of long straights on top of us. Obviously, there's a lot of low, medium, high-speed corners. So with that high altitude, you can get away with putting high wind and high split up, and not really have much penalty in terms of drag.
And currently, right now, Leo tries to catch Suharto. This is where Suharto has gone pretty slow. Looking at the live gaps there, 5 tenths, 5 tenths, 4 tenths now, 4 tenths. Oh, tries to make a move, but goes a bit wide, goes a bit too deep. Leo's gonna have to try to stay clean around the exit of the first hairpin, get close into the S's. That is where Suharto is struggling right now. Look at the pace difference between Leo and Suharto. Leo is catching up, but he's still too far back. And as for Gibbons and Kaczynski, battle is still simmering between these 3 drivers. And as for Leo and Suharto, they're battling down the back straight, the roller coaster straight at the moment. Jetto Costa Stretto for the Japanese viewers out there. So here's Count Gibbons on board the number 64 Roboco Lexus. Get a good exit, 5 tenths. It wasn't as close as it once was. 4 tenths, 4 tenths, and it's ticking down and it's ticking up again. The stream not working as you have mentioned. And back on the tires there, the Mashnev only has 1 lap older tires than Gibbons, so it's pretty even between the drivers here. And as for the gas between Snooks and the rest of the field, 6 seconds separates Snooks and the Mashnev. Linus Pride is carrying Thomas Snooks very well into what could be Gen 5's first win of the season, and what could be Snooks' and Shiro Botan's first win of the season. Silliam is catching up to Leo with her personal best lap times.
Yeah, so we've got these battles revving up as we head towards the final few laps. Once again, one of the technical sections, I think Gibbo here is like more better into sector 3. Seems to have more better performance out of the slower corners than Dmushnev, but obviously can't really get that straight line speed due to those limiting factors. So has to really get up close to that penultimate corner to have a chance there.
And currently, we're taking a look into the live gap that Kizara Leo has. It's actually much closer to Suharto. He could try to eke out a 10 for 2 relative to Suharto. This is where Suharto has been struggling all day long, all race long. And Leo is still quite close, but not close enough. Currently, Leo is not too far behind. Now, Leo's going to try to have a good exit. 5 tenths, 4 tenths, really getting close there between Leo and Suharto, but they're too far behind. Gibbons is still actually losing touch there to the Mashnev. The Mashnev holds on to the car, makes it a car as wide as possible, forces Gibbons to use up the tires way too much. Nose is going to be crossing over the line to start lap 21. There it is, 47.059 for Snooks. The Mashnev, where will his lap time be? As Gibbons now actually under pressure from Kaczynski. Kaczynski may actually as well steal podium from Gibbons. Let's wait and see. Down the inside. Ooh. Oh, down the inside. A lot of curb taken by Kaczynski. But the battle continues, rages on for another few laps there, around maximum 3 laps, as is the race distance. Kaczynski is going to be trying his absolute best to get that podium finish for that number 74 Yusuke Chocolexes after messy first 4 rounds.
Yeah, it looked like a messy last lap for Gibbo there. I think that's going to be it for P2, and now it's just going to have to defend P3 from Kaczynski. Leaving the door slightly open at turn 1, like was anticipating a bit of a dive. There was a bit of a dive, but it wasn't as bad as what we've sometimes seen, but it lives on to fight another day.
Gonna be a make or break moment for Kaczynski and so Gibbons right now.
Margins maintaining around 4 tenths headed into the hairpin. Not close enough to make a move there, and still not really close enough to make a move down roller coaster straight. So I think it's going to still be that procession, still 5 tenths away from Gibbo and Kaczynski is. So I think it's going to be a bit of a role reversal, looking for that Kaczynski looking for that better exit out of the penultimate corner and get a good run and get as close as you can, as that slip trim doesn't quite work.
And yes, Kaczynski is currently 4 tenths behind Gibbons, getting into the tight section. Here is
into the slow sector under the bridge section. Still 4 tenths the margin, not really eking up in this final sector as we look towards the penultimate lap. Snook's about to start penultimate lap with a 6.4 second margin. Kaczynski keeping it nice and tight there. Right for the left-hand king, gets a decent run, 2 tenths the gap now. It's close enough to get that slipstream. Looking to the right, Gibbo on the defensive. 1 tenth to get about 1.5 tenths. That slipstream is actually working now.
On the outside.
Around the outside.
On the outside goes Kaczynski. Will he make the move stick? Yes, he does. Kaczynski steals the podium from Callum Gibbons. It's going to be very momentous for both of the drivers. Gibbons is going to lose a few more points there. It's going to be losing around 12 points relative to where he was in 3rd place. And now Kaczynski is going to have a shot at the podium in the number 74 Yusuke Chocolexes. It's going to be a chocolate moment for Raji Kaczynski, as if he can try to hold on into the final podium spot. And I apologize for not being able to talk about a few things here. The microphone is not working in the side of Discord, so a bit of a fix had to be made. But good job to Gibbo for backing me up as I tried to fix the microphone problem. Great job there. Great call there from Gibbo. But for now, Kaczynski holding on to 3rd place. He's going to be jubilated with this result. It's going to be his best ever finish in the Hololive GT3 series so far in the number 74 Yusuke Chocolexes. Thomas Snooks is having a commanding race at the moment as he was about to start the final lap of the race in the lead.
Yeah, very comfortable lead indeed. Doesn't really have to do much, not make any major mistakes there. Gibbons now under pressure from Depoto as well. I think his tyres are now absolutely shot, going for 2nd place. It's absolutely gone now. And now Depoto right behind as well, so just losing all that grip.
This one, the Porto looking to also make amends here. It's just after Tsunamaki Watame's birthday. Here is the Porto trying to make a good launch off the final turn. The Porto is now getting very close there. Trying to have a peek around the outside. Has the better launch there. Has 4 laps, fresh tires there. Trying to make a move around the outside. Switches over into the inside. The Porto tries to make a move. Oh, a bit of a lot of hopping into the curb there, but the battle's not over yet. The Porto is going to try to catch outside with all his might. It's going to be his song and dance to try to make a move around Caleb Gibbons as Kaczynski builds up a gap over Caleb Gibbons.
Yeah, Kaczynski a lot more comfortable now, can just conserve those tires for the final lap over with only 3 seconds the margin now, so very comfortable with that last podium position. Gibbons and DePorto still going to go at it until the final corner.
And Cal Gibbons is going to try to defend very, very well here. Try to defend 4th place. Right now, his battle with Phu-My at the championship is on the line. So basically tries to win a championship in the number 64 Roboco Lexus. Gibbons is under pressure from the portal. Only 4 tenths separating them. Now 5 tenths just a bit as they're about to exit the second hairpin into the roller coaster corner. We're going to be taking tabs into some of the remaining drivers here on the field. Kaczynski is in 3rd. It's going to be his best ever finish. Hall GT3, Tomashev in 2nd. But Thomas Nukes is going to cross over to the final sector of the race in the lead very comfortably. He's been one of the fast drivers in qualifying, and he's now going to translate this into the race around the final 2 turns for the final time here in race 1. Thomas Nukes with the Lioness Pride carrying over him, with the SSRB watching over him, with Shirobata watching over him. Thomas Nukes is going to take the victory here in Autopolis. The first win for Gen 5. Vladislav Damashkin finishes 2nd place, and Raija Kaczynski. A chocolate feeling is in the air for Raija Kaczynski representing Yuzuki Choco as he grabs the first podium finish of the number 74 Yuzuki Choco Lexus, as the Porto, as try as he might, tries to make a pass over Gibbons, but doesn't manage to make the pass. Gibbons, very good job there from him, depending from the Porto with 4 laps fresher tires. He will have 43 points over Phu-My's 12 points. Very good job from the Lexus drivers.
Yeah, very good job from the Lexus drivers. Did really burn up towards the end there. Gibbo just missing out on that podium, but still a decent haul of points against his championship rival.
And for the best performing Honda there, finally Kizuhara Leo steps it up. And in amongst the Honda pack, Kizuhara Leo beats Catherine Vasilyev for 9th place. Kizuhara Leo gets 2 points. So very good job. A bit of a argy-bargy there between his Gen 2 teammate, between him and Santi. So that is going to be the end of the race here for race 1. We're going to be transitioning over into basically the race results. And as for the race results show, Thomas Nukes scores his first win here in Hall GT3. First win for Gen 5 in the number 43 Shishiro Botan Lexus. Finally, last lap, Damasha replicates Alex Grant's best ever finish in the number 92 Akira Toto Lexus. In 2nd, Raija Kaczynski, best ever finish and the first podium finish for the number 74 Yuzuki Choco Lexus. Finishes 3rd. Caleb Gibbons does well to defend against Mateus Juan de Porto, representing Roboco and Tsunamaki Watame respectively. Well, note that the Porto has 4 laps fresher tires than Gibbons, but Gibbons manages to defend it quite well. He will eat 30 points away from Phu-My, which we'll talk about in a bit. Asa scores a respectable 6th in the number 18 Adak-RMS Lexus. Phu-My, number 1 Tokino Sora Nissan, lost out in the championship battle, but the war still raging on. Juan Suharto manages to defend for Kizuhara Leo in the later stages of the race, but at the end, Kizuhara Leo lost the tires. So obviously there's a number 20 Shiranui Flanders and Kizuhara Leo's number 40 Masaki Shion Honda, best Honda in the field right now. In 9th place, Katrin Vasilyev, number 11 Sota Pecora Honda, not going to do her much favors in the championship battle. Kantini, number 9 Natako Nissan, better number 5 Nakamata Kayu Nissan. In 11th and 12th respectively, Kachu in his Hall GT3 debut. There's something wrong with his 2nd stint. Has him fall down to 13th. Rifara Kamal in her first Hall GT3 race ends up 14th. And Rakimbayev, being a bit nowhere in this race, ends up in 15th place. So actually, we're going to be taking a look into the replay first. just a bit of a recap first because we need to take a look into the lap 4 between some of the drivers here, especially for let's say the bottom 5 of the field. We're gonna be taking a look back into. Hang on, we're gonna be taking a look here. Oh, actually, never mind that. So we're gonna be taking a look at 43 Farah Kamal, 9th place. Actually, not really 9th. Well, currently 9th place. She was trying to battle against. Oh, look at this! Trying to battle against Wawa's Heart though. Has the slipstream. Makes the move. Oh, that's pretty odd. Loses the car mid corner and rejoins in the middle of the pack. Fortunately, she didn't collect any other drivers here, but a bit messy there from Farah Kamal, isn't it, Gibber?
Yeah, it just looks like just rear stepped out again. That possibly again that snapped over steer heading into the corner too quickly, losing all that rear grip. A bit of an unsafe rejoin as we look at the onboard here. I believe there was not any contact and it was just entering the corner too hot. So as we're approaching the braking zone here, bit of a late brake. Yeah, I think just broke a bit late there and just rear end just went up. See ya. And then just rejoined in the middle of the track, so a bit unsafe there.
A bit unsafe there, but fortunately it went away just like that. And so that basically concludes race 1. So good job there from all of the drivers here in Split B. And as we're going to be taking a look into the championship context here, and with no penalties in mind. So, of course, we have Vladislav Damashnev sharing his points. Damashnev is quite what you call excited over his finishing result, basically scoring his best ever finish in Hall GT3 up until this point. And as for the actually, we're gonna be hang on, a bit of a mess up in the result. I don't think it yes, so apparently there was a bit of an issue with the replay, but fortunately we can try to make it up later on. So we're gonna be going over to race 2 first. We're not gonna be taking a look into the championship standings. We will be updating you guys on the championship standings. There's something wrong with Content Manager. So apparently the race 1 was not being scored at the moment, so race 1 is not being scored on Content Manager and Assetto Corsa, but fortunately I have the replays and I have the ability to record the results, so we don't need to worry too much about that later on. But for now we're going to be taking a look into race 2. So as for the race 1 results, we're going to be updating everyone about basically the rest of the field, as we're going to be starting over the second qualifying session. And as it stands, it's time for me to probably take a break in the loo. Try to talk about what happened, talk about your experiences in race 1. As we're gonna go on board with Putri Farah Kamal. So you're gonna be talking about your experiences in your thoughts of race 1 and Putri Farah Kamal's hot lap.
Yeah, so race 1, again, once again, a good performance from the Lexus manufacturers like in Split A. So usually it was a podium lockout for Split A, the Lexus as well. But for this time in Split B, it was 1 through 6. Obviously more Lexus cars participating in the field, so a good turnout for the Toyota luxury brand. We did see earlier in the championship how the Lexus weren't really there in terms of race pace. Like sometimes they had some good quality pace and they were up in the field, but they just were nowhere in terms of race pace, and they did try to like circumvent some of the rules to negate that, like by taking like no-stop races, you know, slightly expanding their fuel tank, but the governing body did sort of clamp down on that. But I think this time the Lexus have gone away, they've gone and made some developments and updates to their car, and with all the BOP, the balance performance doing their thing, we have a very much more even field, but the Lexus still quite a bit out there at Autopolis this time around, as we can see. With the more technical nature of the circuit, the more corners, it does tend to favour the Lexus cornering ability, as it's more favoured in the corners than it is on the straights. Still, Nissan and Honda is still pretty up there on the parity side of things, so still performing decently well and getting a good 4 points. And as we saw on board with Farah Kamal, we're heading towards the first of what should be a few hot laps.
So, okay, I'll be taking over the commentary here. Jafar Kamal, one of the mate at university, starts our second qualifying session of the day. 6th gear into turn 1, straight to the 100 meter board into 50R. Apparently that's what it's called. Easy down to turn 2, gets into second gear. The Honda favor the low gears. So into turns 2 and 3, breaking at 75 meter mark. 3. Hold on to third and second gear for 4 and 5. Turn 6 is coming up. That's going to be the first hairpin corner. There it is, the first hairpin corner. Stay in first gear. You want to get the car rotated on slow corners into 7. Here's the S section. Turn 8. Hold on to fourth gear for dear life. Try to use much of the throttle in the Honda NSX. That is where the grip comes in this mid-engine car. Turn 10. Off cambered second hairpin. 48.39.935 for 43 car Kamal. Exiting turn 10. Very decent lap there. Into the back straight. The roller coaster straight. Breaking a 50 meter board into 11. Here's sector 3. Well, pretty decent there. Gear 3. Hold on to the third gear. 13, 14. Then 15, and then here's the double left-hander of 16 and 17 just under the bridge. Hold on to third gear. After all this time, the possibly in the quarters, there's a long right-hander of 18. Roundabout we go into the final turn of turn 19. Left flick to the short flick to the left, and that is the lap of Autopolis in 443 Farakamal in the number 63 Yukana Lami Honda. 46.877, that's the benchmark lap time.
Yeah, 46.8, not necessarily the best time we've seen today, so maybe looking for a bit better. Commissioner 46.9, so just 800s off. We did see 45s before, so we might be expecting faster times, or maybe the track may have slowed down a bit depending on track temp, but obviously laps are still coming in, so we'll have to see. Oh, there you go, 46.6 from Azad.
Azad set to 46.688, it's going to be provisional pole. Will the Porto challenge him? Yes, he does so far. It says the new provisional pole, 46.355 Santini and Azad. Sorry, Ni and Kaczynski. It says pretty decent lap times between these two drivers. Here's Andrew Rakimbaev barreling over the final turn as we speak so far. 44, 45 is going to be 8:47 for Rakimbaev, I reckon. 8th fastest. Rakimbaev is not showing up apparently in Autopolis for some reason. And here's Cashew, 46.961. Deporto is still holding on to that provisional pole. It's going to be another feel-good story here in Hol GT3 if Deporto manages to hold on to the pole into the race lead. Vasiliev, 9th fastest. Mohan Suharto, 11th fastest. Sergei Petrov, 10th fastest. Bumps Rakimbaev and Suharto down. Gibbons bumps Azad down but doesn't manage to challenge Deporto. This is very good for the championship context for Gibbons.
Yeah, very good for the championship. It's a bit more mixed field this time around as they put in their banker laps. Not as quick as qualified one, but nevertheless still a decently close field. As Snook's goes in with a 47.9 for the second to last position. So not a great qualifying for compared to the first race.
Reversal of fortunes, we talked about a lot here in the Hol GT3. And how about this? Deporto qualifies on pole, Gibbons second, Azad third, and Putri Farah Kamal surprises everyone with a 4th fastest lap time of this qualifying session. How about that, girl?
Very good performance getting right in there up against the Lexus team here, so it's no longer quite the Lexus lockout that we had before.
Yes, the Lexus Stronghold is being rattled here at the moment. Deporto is going to cross over into a 46.328, improves! 46.328 from Deporto. Looks like the Watamis are going to be very happy about that. Santinis holds on to 7th fastest. Kaczynski peels it into the pits. Currently, Kaczynski is 9th fastest. Rakimbaev is 13th fastest. He's currently a no-show here in Split B here in Autopolis. But Rakimbaev is going to try his best to bring this car into the top 10 and into the points. Try to limit the damage in the championship. Does not improve, 2 seconds behind on that second lap.
Yeah, not quite getting that second lap hooked up. We got Cashew heading 46, 47, 47.2 does not improve, remains in 5th place. PieZello 43, 44, 45. I think not not improving, still maintaining in 11th place. I'm not really seeing improvements in the second laps, and I think a bit slower in this qualifying session, so maybe the track is not quite as gripped up as it was before.
And currently, right now, Kizuhara Leo is the second best Honda right now. He's gonna try to bring that Honda car into the points once again. No improvements there from Leo. Their second laps have not been picking up Snooks. Last race winner is currently having irreversible fortunes as well. Currently in 14th place. Fujiwara Kama got about to finish her qualifying session. Will she improve? The answer is no. Fujiwara has now not really improved on her qualifying session. With a match stamp of a 45, 46, 47, where will he end up? 46, 48, 263, and I think it's going to be pretty bleak for all the rest of the drivers here for them to continue setting up faster lap times, as that banker lap was the fastest lap they've been all day, except for the Porto, who I believe is the only one that gains on their second lap.
Yeah, it was a slight improvement of 200s on that second lap, so that track not really picking up, all the drivers just getting a little bit slack there, but nevertheless it looks like Deporto on pole with Gibbons in second, Azad in third.
Azad is barreling in, has already completed his lap, by the way, and congratulations to Deporto, by the way. Unless all the other drivers could challenge Deporto, I think Deporto's pole position here is settled, and he's going to probably be next in line amongst the Gen 4 cars to win a race. And what better way to win? What better car to win a race here than Deporto? Deporto has been beating himself up for not being able to compete, for not being able to compete for wins of the standards that Watame probably wants from him. And to see him qualify on pole is a great feeling. It's another feel good story. Actually, Harto bumps some of the other drivers here. He's now in 13th place. And as we're about to finish the qualifying session, we're going to be hearing Gibbo's thoughts for that qualifying session, especially for Mateus Juan Deporto.
Yeah, good power for Deporto, but just not really as fast as we saw in qualifying one. People not really been able to improve on their banker lap, so hopefully that still maintains their race pace, but qualifying pace was a little bit lackluster, but nevertheless we set up for a good race.
And the parity between the drivers are actually a bit better there, despite the track's grip dropping off. We're looking at the gaps between 1.6 seconds at maximum between Mateus Juan Deporto and Thomas Snooks. The Watame car is on pole. The Watame Lexus is on pole. The Botan Lexus is at the back. Differing fortunes between the two drivers here, as Deporto sets his first pole of the season in the number 3 Tsunomaki Watame Lexus. Kyle Gibbons is going to be in a prime position to try to retake the championship lead for the first time since the start of the season in the number 64 Roboco Lexus. Watch out for him. Azad, number 18 Adak-RMS Lexus, comfortably in the top 5 here at the moment. Qualifies third. Putifar Kamal surprises everyone with a 4th place start. 4 fastest in qualifying. Good job from her. Starts 4th. Actually starts 5th. The match has 6th. Santini 7th. Kizuhara Leo 8th. Make that a what you call a Akushio 7-8 with Choco in 9th, being represented by Reggie Kaczynski. Phu-My is in 10th. That's not going to help him in the championship context here. Number 3 Vasiliev also not doing much favorites in the championship either. The number 11 Sarapekora Honda. Sergei Petrov again qualifies below the top 10 in the number 5 Nakamata Okayu Nissan. Harto bumps and Rahimbayev and Thomas Snooks by surprise on that final lap. Now qualifies 13th in the number 20 Sharanoi Nissan, and Rahimbayev, number 30 Okamimiyo Honda, nowhere to be seen right now. Thomas Snooks, a big surprise there to qualify at the back there on pace alone, so it's a bit of a surprise for some of the drivers here. So a bit of reversal of fortunes for some, and it's going to be another reversal of fortunes for the others, as we're going to be transitioning over into the race, as we're about to set the cameras for race 2 for round 5 of Split B of the 2022 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. There's the cars lined up on the grid. Mateus Juan Deporto on pole with Kyle Gibbons lining up alongside him as the Split B championship contender. Who's going to edge ahead into turn 1? And here they come. And actually, it's a very good launch there by Callum Gibbons, but it looks like Mateus Juan Deporto has the outside line. The outside line is the preferred line heading into turn 1. Oh, a bit squirrely there, exiting turn 1, and it's a bit squirrely for all the other drivers as well. Farah Kamal now gets into the podium places, manages to beat Azad across the line, across the start. Here's the Mustang trying to move around the inside of Cashew. They're both side by side into the tight section of 4 and 5. Into turn 6, dive bomb for the Mustang. Very good stuff there from the Mustang to try to hold on into the inside, but this will change to the outside. That is where Kashi will have the advantage there. Kizar Leo's now up to 7. Phu-My and Kaczynski are trading blows there. There's a good amount of damage there for Phu-My. Kashi is now have the outside line and into the inside line into the second hairpin. Cashew is now up to 5th. Farah Kamal up to 3rd. Look at Kaczynski trying to make a dive bomb around the inside of the hairpin corner. It's Kaczynski's 8th place now. Kizuhara Leo, but Kizuhara Leo is going to try to fight back into the tight and twisty third sector, but it's too far back to make a move. And as we're going to be taking a look into the what you call the progress chart, it's a crazy first lap that it was. You can see Gibbons trying to challenge the Porter for the race lead.
Yeah, decent challenge there, but just taking too much curb, not really getting that traction out and exit, but still maintaining second position. A bit of door banging from the rest of the field as they tried to jostle for position, but overall decently clean.
Clean indeed for a lot of these drivers here. It's one of the not exactly the cleanest we've seen, as you can see, Sergei Petrov's car being quite bent up. Not in the points though, but definitely outside, but definitely has a good amount of damage there. And as for Phu-My and PieZello, they are not going to score points provisionally. They're out of the points. And with Callum Gibbons in second place, he is going to be in prime position to take the championship lead away from Phu-My, Phu-My, originating from Vietnam. So as for the battles that are going to be raging across the track here, Azad holds on to 4th place as it stands. Tries to challenge Putri Farah Kamal. And here's Putri Farah Kamal in 3rd place, holding off the charge from Azad. Cashew is catching up just a little bit. You can see here Cashew tries to catch up. The Mustang is losing touch to the top 5, but it's still going to be a good result for him nonetheless if he manages to finish in 6th.
Yeah, given to the moment, I think it's pretty much nearly guaranteed second place in the championship after this round, but Phu-My not scoring points at the moment. The margin was 112 points heading into this round. Of course, we'll update the championship settings at the conclusion of the round, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned indeed, but essentially at by the conclusion of the round, we may be looking at 2 to 3 hours after the round due to a set of course and content managers mishap on race 1. So we're going to be trying to update with championship standings as soon as possible once the championship is manually sorted out. Here's Farah Kamal trying to catch Callum Gibbons. Currently the gap is just under a second, only 6/10. And currently Farah Kamal has the basically the straight line speed. While the Lexus has better cornering, Farah Kamal has a straight line advantage. We're going to be seeing the lap time difference. 47.712 for Farah Kamal. Gibbons 47.856. The Moto 47.0. Fastest lap of the race so far.
Yeah, it's just setting the pace and getting those down those times. A lot motor of the field doing 48.49, so just settling in now. The Porto still increasing that gap now 2 seconds, so I think he's ready to take control of this race.
And currently, Sergei Petrov in his second race in the Hololive GT3 tries to make a mark here as we're in lap 3 at the moment. Let's take a look at the race field monitor. Farah Kamal is going to go long on her strategy compared to everyone else, but not as long as Azad. Azad will be the definitive last person to pit. NTD, meanwhile, as the Sergei Petrov is going to be the first to service their cars in the pits, as does Mama Kaishu and Callum Gibbons, and as does Phu-My. So watch out for these drivers if they want to make, for those who are going to be making their undercut of the race by pitting early into the race. As for Matheus Van der Porto, he's going to go long, and Thomas is going to pit earlier than him. So watch out for these 2 drivers as well.
Yeah, once again, a variety in strategy, and I think strategy will play more of a factor here. We did see actually more overtakes in race 1, split B, compared to the most of split A, so I think split B a bit more racy this time around, but I still think strategy is going to be key here, so definitely a variety there.
Farah Kamal is catching up to Callum Gibbons right now, as does Cashew to Azad. And currently Farah Kamal is around, still just under a second. We'll note that. It's currently just around 5/10 at the moment. As for Azad and Kashi, is under 3/10 of a second. So watch out for these drivers here as we're going to go on board with Farah Kamal and then later Gibbons. Gibbons is still around a tenth slower than Farah Kamal, who's catching him slowly. Azad in 4th place, Kashio in 5th. And as for Damashev, he's really losing touch to the rest of the pack, rest of the top 5. And Santini's going to try to catch him for 6.
Yeah, top 5 setting up their own little battle group. It's not the Lexus lockout as we saw before, that lone Honda of Farah Kamal. 410 still behind Gibbons. Deporto still increasing that gap, so either Gibbons is lacking pace or trying to manage those tyres, but either way, it's Deporto's race at the moment.
It's Deporto's race, and it's his race to lose. And what would be a better story other than Deporto finally winning a race for Tsunamaki Watami's sake? Well, there's Alex Bowen winning in Autopolis in Shiraga and it was whole place, but that'll be a story for yet another day. Well, that's not a story for yet another day. We've already talked about that story yesterday. So, and as for Santini, Santini's really catching up into Damashev. Damashev is now pretty slow into race 2 compared to race 1. Damashev has the podium finish to his credit in race 1, but for race 2 he's currently nowhere. And Farah Kamal, meanwhile, is edging closer and closer to Gibbons. If she can close the gap to 3/10, or maybe 4/10, she can maybe use the slipstream, use the superior straight line speed of the Honda to try to basically catch Gibbons unaware on the main straight and try to make a move around turn 1.
And possibly Gibbons looking at the defense there, gap still around half a second. We did have around half a second last time, but that really didn't quite work out in terms of straight line speed. So let's take a look here. Decent exit 4 tips now, so pretty decent exit, but that gap still eking out slightly. So that straight line performance not really coming in this time around.
Here's Kashio trying to make move around the inside, but Aza is really placing his car neatly to try to defend as he pushes Kashio conveniently into the curves for him to get unsettled. A bit cheeky, but the move works as long as they gave him enough space, and given enough space, Azad did, as Cassius is still going to try to find a way to pass Azad for 4th place.
So again, I think these top 5 now breaking apart a bit more, so we'll turn into little mini two-way groups here. So Deporto's still out on his own, Gibbons and Farakama in their own group, and Azad and Cashew in their own group as well. So it's all spreading out a bit now as we head towards now the 6th lap of this race. And I think soon the next few laps we'll be looking at the pit window opening.
A bit of a correction there. It's actually lap 5 here. 4 laps have actually been completed. Deporto is holding on to the race lead. 4.3 seconds separating between the leader and 2nd place. Farakama is still trying to catch up to Gibbons right now, but of course you're not going to make a move around the outside. A long right-hander of turn 18. The move is after turn 19 into the main straight. As for Santini, okay, it's pretty decent there between Damashev and Ni at the moment. Under a second between these two drivers, but Farakama is really getting pretty close there into the tight 3rd sector. That whatever happened in the first race just does not translate for the 2nd race for Count Gibbons in terms of race pace. And as for Snoop, he's going to be trying his best to climb up the field. There's Farakama. 4/10 is still the gap. Will it close? It's still closing. It's still closing. Farakama has the straight line advantage, but not much. And the gap is still pretty decent there between Farakama and Gibbons. Farakama still that locked on that 3rd place finish, so Gibbons making that car as wide as possible to gain that 75 crucial points to try to overtake Phu-My in the Split B Championship.
Yeah, crucial points he did. Now onto the 6th lap. Excuse my mistake earlier. Farakama just getting a bit bobbled off on the curb there, a bit bumpy there, just not really getting that exit. Couldn't really utilize that straight line speed. Still keeping close tabs, so I think that battle's going to be going on for a while.
That battle's going to go on for a while for sure. Farakama has compromised her exit off the first hairpin, lost a few tenths. And actually Farakama is gaining on the high-speed corner. That is where the Hondas also excel as well. And as a right now, Farakama down into the 2nd hairpin. Try to take a look around the inside, but just isn't close enough. Farakama is around, getting into the back bumper of Count Gibbons. Getting, hey, ooh, wait. Hang on, will there be a move? There won't be.
Just not close enough there, and like down roller coaster straight, I don't think it's really that too much of an overtaking opportunity there, but still getting close towards sector 3. So I think that Honda at the moment has a better sector 3 at the moment. As we look towards the back of the field, one thing to take note of, I believe provisionally at the start of the round, those top 2 in the championship currently, Phu-My and PieZello, both not in the points paying positions at the moment. So not really helping the championship at the moment. Obviously someone that did score points in the first race, but not really consistent here.
Okay, as of saying this right now, we talked about how Gibbons in the number 64 Roboco Lexus manages to score what's basically, I believe it's a 4th place for Callum Gibbons, because he was being overtaken by Raj Kaczynski and was just about being able to hold off the Porto. So that's 43 points, and with Phu-My's 12 points in 7, he already now has stolen around 31 points, and currently with 75 points, is the 35 points that currently Callum Gibbons is stealing. We're gonna be taking a look into the results for now. And as for the gap right now, entering round 5, Callum Gibbons is 112 points behind. So 75 plus 31 would mean that Gibbons will need a win for him to retake the championship lead. But still, it's a guaranteed 2nd place, as Vasilia is losing touch in basically in the championship order for this round.
Yeah, for C11, Gibbons only 18 points the gap that was coming into this round, but as I said, guaranteed 2nd place. Well, obviously probably not looking for a win, so Red Porter still extending that gap, and Gibbons still trying to wrestle the Honda behind. So I think 2nd place may be the best result here, but still good in context of the championship.
Yes, it's going to be very good in the championship context there. It's now going to be, I believe, just around 10 points. A smidge of 10 points, just under 10 points between Phu-My and Callum Gibbons entering Motegi. And here is Gibbons trying to defend from Farakama. Farakama is now the closest she's ever been to Gibbons. Will she try to make a move around the inside? 165, yes, Taishu is peeling into the pit lane. He will be the first to pit, as the Santi D and Sergei Petrov. Izuhara Leo is staying on just a short while. Let's see which strategy is paying off. Will it be the undercut or the overcut? We'll wait and see. As you stay tuned in the Hololive GT3 Japan series, we'll see. Currently, we're on board with Kizuhara Leo, and Phu-My though actually has sustained front end damage, even more than usual. We'll want to see where he received the damage from. We're going to be checking the lap 1 replays right after this.
Yeah, I think there was that bit of door banging at the first lap. I think we did see that damage a bit earlier, just trying to adjust for position, and some light contact there. Doesn't look like too heavy damage, so still somewhat keeping pace, but not in the net points paying position as they would want.
Here's Putin Farakama's on board, number 63 Yukihana Lamy Honda. Here is Farakama trying to catch Callum Gibbons. They've been continuing on this battle since the start of the race, and obviously Gibbons has the on-track advantage. And currently, as for the strategy, Callum Gibbons is going to be committing into the undercut strategy, and yes, he's going to pit this lap. So watch out for Callum Gibbons relative to Mateus Juan de Porto. And this will be switching some of the modes of the timing tower to the gaps right now. Gaps to the leader. Kashiuni and Petrov have no chance to make the make the pass into the leaders when it comes to pit stops, because the gap is way too much. Here is Callum Gibbons. Makes the move into the pits.
Yeah, just trying to cover off any chance of Farakama making an undercut, get those fresh tyres on. I think it wasn't so much managing tyres in that case. I think it was just relatively less pace. So reset, get some fresh tyres on, hopefully come out in clear air and maintain that 2nd position.
As we've mentioned before, Phu-My is the next driver to pit this lap. And as we'll be talking about some of the other drivers here, Snooze is actually keeping tabs to Vasilyev, who is yet to pit. Currently, 5 drivers have already made their pit stops. We'll wait and see on who will be the last driver out on track in terms of net positions. Here is Phu-My still in the pits. Gibbons has now peeled out of it. Gibbons is comfortably ahead of Cashew. And with Gibbons having the fresher tires, and meanwhile Snooks is trying to make it more around the outside of Vasilia, but this wasn't meant to be. Here's Gibbons ahead of Cashew. Meanwhile, Vasiliev is trying to defend for all she can against Snooks. This is where the Snooks has the best advantage at the high-speed corners and the low-speed corners. But in the straights, that's where the Honda has the breeding group. Meanwhile, Sergei Petrov and Santini battle it out. Both drivers have already pitted for fresh rubber. And right now, Santini has the fresher rubber, the warmer, not like the fresh rubber, but the warmer rubber. And currently, it's Petrov's position. It's Petrov's position in 14th place.
Yeah, tried to have a look down the inside there, but not really any opportunity. Yeah, so Petrov making a good move there with that strategy. Now right behind Phu-My, who's I think Phu-My did already pit, I believe.
Meanwhile, Cashew's trying to make a move around the inside of Callum Gibbons. This is actually going to be for a net P3, as it's already a net P4, as Farakama is now going to try to cover off Callum Gibbons in terms of pit strategy. We'll see if Farakama can snatch a surprise second.
Yeah, Farakama was their own, like towards the end of the stint, not really held up by Gibbons, so that little hold up there between the two Lexus might be crucial here.
Yes, currently Wawan Suharto has also made move into the pits as well. For the pace for those who have yet to pit is currently hovering between a 148 to a 150. Farakama is still pitting, and currently Kashio is holding out Callum Gibbons. This will be Farakama's strategy to win. Here's Farakama exiting the pits relative to everyone else, and it's Farakama's P2. Very good job there in terms of strategy. Good job covering off Callum Gibbons for that second place. And now it's Callum Gibbons down to 4th place, so it is a guaranteed second place in the championship standings as it stands, but not going to be enough to overtake Phu-My in the championship lead at the moment.
Yeah, and just now with that, those positions now increasing that margin at the top place of the championship stand, still making a decent dent. There's still plenty of rounds to go, but obviously not in the most ideal situation here.
Thomas Snooks, the next driver to pit, and currently he has overtaken Andrew Rahibayev, and we want to see the gap between Snooks and Ni and Suharto. That is his battle at the moment. His battle is currently outside the points after a good showing in race 1 where he dominated the race. He basically controlled the race, lights the flag. So right now it's Snooks' reversal of fortunes this time by, and for the other drivers, we'll wait and see as we're waiting for the Porto to make his next stop.
Yeah, the Porto 148.2, so not as quick there on that lap. Possibly looking at a pit stop soon as you look at the fuel monitor. So the Porto will be looking at that overcut strategy at the moment, but I think those tires will be decently worn at this point.
Decently worn tires for the Porto right now. 10 laps old tires. As we'll be taking a look into the pit stops. Yes, we have from the Porto to Rahibai, they have yet to make a pit stop, and that's for the tires. Those 6 drivers who have yet to make a pit stop, they have 10 laps older tires than everyone else. And currently the one with the freshest tires is currently Thomas Snooks, who is currently peeled into the pits. And as for the remaining drivers here, yes, the Porto is still holding on. There's Snooks getting out of the pits. His battle is with Suharto and Ni, and maybe with Phu-My and Petrov as well. Snooks is barreling down. Oh, there he is. He loses the battle between Phu-My and Petrov, but manages to stay ahead of Suharto and Ni. Here's Suharto and Ni. Yep, Snooks is 13th place. That is his net position. So as for the driver yet to pit, Farakama is currently 45 seconds hovering between her and the Porto. She could snatch the win if she could lower the gap to around 44, 43 seconds. But currently it's the Porto's race to lose, and with the Porto coming into the overcut strategy, we'll wait and see where this will land for the Porto's chances of a race win here in Autopolis Split B Race 2.
Yeah, the Porto definitely committed to that overcut. We did see a couple of sub laps earlier, and still not pitting at the moment. I believe Farakama was maybe in the 47s. We'll see what the Porto is at the moment. 47.8, so not as quick as before, so possibly those tires just not really helping the moment. Farakama, that gap still at 45.2, so maybe close on pit exit.
is going to be close and tight indeed, as this will be...
Let's keep going down now. We'll look towards Porto, still with more Porto heading towards the second sector. Kaczynski in the pit as well, PieZello in the pit as well, 148.4 for Recambe, so definitely utilizing those fresher tires as well.
Okay, so looks like we're back on the mic. Discord again acting up on the microphone, the audio input. So here's Kaczynski and PieZello peeling into the pits. Their battle is between the guys at the back of the pack here, as we're seeing Rakimbayev and Leo barging into the main straight. And as for Farah Kamal, actually, they have not yet pitted, but the gap is still between 45 seconds. Here is Leo, who's still yet to pit, and as for the driver they have already pitted. PieZello is holding on to 12th place. Phu-My is also back in the points, as it seems, but good job from the driver here. Will he make a move around the inside of Kaczynski? Good job there from Phu-My, utilizing the straight line advantage of the Nissan, but Kaczynski is not going to take it lying down into turn 5 and into turn 6 into the hairpin. It's Kaczynski losing out to Phu-My, who is going to gain 2 points after all. Meanwhile, as we're taking a look into the gap between the Porto and Farah Kamal, it's now 44 seconds, under 45 seconds between Farah Kamal and the Porto. If the Porto needs to pit, he has to pit right now, and it is going to be the case.
The Porto's pitting.
The Porto is peeling into the pits for sure. We're going to be taking a look at the live gaps here. It's Farah Kamal's time to push. Farah Kamal is in Sector 3 as it stands. And currently Farah Kamal is barreling into Sector 3. Rakima is also going to pit as well, as does Kizuhara Leo. Azad's is going to assume the race lead. Azad will be the last driver to pit. Here's Farah Kamal into 17, into turn 18, the long right-hander shifted into the left. The Porto is still in the pit, still stationary. Here is Farah Kamal barreling down the straight. Here is the Porto in the pits. Farah Kamal, it's going to be close. It's going to be close between these two drivers. It's Farah Kamal's race. Oh, it's Farah Kamal. She takes the race lead. Amazing job from Farah Kamal to assume position. It takes the win away from the Porto with the undercut strategy that she has been pulling off. The gap, it was just enough for Farah Kamal to reassume the race lead, or actually just assume the race lead in the first place. It's time. It's her race for the taking.
Yeah, great just to the undercut there, really getting those laps on those fresh tyres, but obviously to Porto on several laps, well, obviously very fresh tyres now, several laps younger than Farah Kamal, so De Porto may not be out of it yet, maybe a chance to try and catch up towards the end, but Farah Kamal with that track position, as we've seen, it is difficult to overtake, so that might be the race there, but it ain't over yet.
It ain't over until it's over. De Porto has 3 laps fresher tires than Farah Kamal at the moment, and currently the Porto is gonna try to catch up to Farah Kamal with all his might. He is bringing him the might of Tsunamaki Watame and all of the Watamates, and currently the gaps at the moment is gonna be switching over the intervals. 2.5 seconds. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how long Farah Kamal can hold on to her current race pace at the moment.
We'll definitely need to hold on, and I believe for this round, in terms of net lead, this is the first time that we've had a non-Lexus driver taking in that lead and presumably the lead of the race.
And yes, and if Farah Kamal can hold on into this race lead, she will be the first driver in the Autopolis round, in basically round 5 of the season, do not convert pole into a race win. The Porto had the pole at the moment, but is currently in second place. But the gap is currently lowered down to just under 2 seconds. Farah Kamal is getting pretty slow there. The gap was around 2.5 seconds, but it's now 2 seconds there. The Porto with the higher advantage there. We'll see what the Porto can do with the pace advantage that he has at the moment.
Yeah, as I was saying, despite having that overcut, despite those worn tyres on the first stint, he's now got the fresher rubber, and obviously now up to temperature. That gap is actually closing at the moment. 1.8 seconds now the margin. Cashew 1.4 seconds, Gibbons 7/10 behind. So not still, I think anyone's game here, because I think the top 4 here still within touch and distance of each other. But if they want to get going, they've got to get a move on.
The gap is still closing. It was 2.5 seconds and nearly 1 lap ago. And now Deporto is closing in to Farah Kamal 1 second at a time. And Deporto is now barreling alongside for Farah Kamal, as does Cashew and Gibbons into the roller coaster straight. Here is Sector 3, where Deporto will have the best advantage that he has at the moment. 1.5 seconds, the gap is closing between Deporto and Farah Kamal. Let's see what Deporto can do in Sector 3.
Yeah, Azad now pitting. I believe that's the last driver to make their pit stop, so that should settle down the field now. So Azad heading in, they don't have the gaps at the moment for the 45-second gap, but obviously Farah Kamal will jump them as well as the rest of the leading group. Heading towards lap 15 now for the leader, so definitely plenty of time left to make up that gap.
Deporto is still catching you. Let's look at the lap time. This is going to be amazing. The lap time difference between Farah Kamal and Deporto. Fastest lap for Deporto, 47.657. We have a 46.834, gains 0.8 of a second. That just one lap. Deporto is on a charge here to bring home a win for Tsunomaki Watame.
Yeah, definitely on a charge. Indeed, want to make up for that, like possibly, well, not really necessarily bad strategy call, because the overcut can work around here, but obviously compromising that track position, as I said, difficult to overtake. So may need to get the elbows out here.
Get the elbows out, Deporto. Get the elbows out for all the Watames, for all the Watames and Tsunomaki Watame to see. Deporto is on a charge here. Farah Kamal is on 3 laps. All the tires, mind everyone. And currently Deporto is now bringing the gap down to 1 second. Deporto is catching Farah Kamal significantly. This is not something that we have seen in Hol GT3 up until this point. Second place running down the leader.
Yeah, it's been rare that we have these like really good leader battles. Usually the leader has been able to pull away from the rest of the pack while they jostle, but this time it's the top 2 here battling for the race 2 split B on Autopolis.
And currently Domashnev is trying to catch Azad for 5th place. The gap is still between 0.4 of a second. Kaczynski just under around 0.5 of a second is not catching up to Phu-My at the moment. Snowsense Carter is catching up to Vasiliev in 11th place. He's catching up to ranking by 4 to Silver Spoon. And Deporto is now brought the gap down to just under a second. Can Farah Kamal hold on to the race lead for long?
Oh yeah, it's getting closing down, but it's one thing to catch, but it's another thing to pass, but he's comfortably the faster driver at the moment. Gonna need to get really much closer now. The gap is closing a bit there. The Honda a bit slower on the straight, surprisingly. 47.6 for Farah Kamal, 46.9 for Deporto, so Deporto is definitely still comfortable on those tires.
Very comfortable with these tires indeed. Casio pits. Cal Gibbons' 3rd place is secured as it seems. Deporto will have a few overtaking opportunities right across the track. Remember, 3 laps, fresher tires for Deporto compared to Farah Kamal, who I believe her tires have already been shot. She has been way out the pace. And if Farah Kamal manages to defend, Deporto, Gibbons may just as well be back into the lead fight.
Yeah, I believe, is that Cashew's like 2nd pit stop, I believe?
I do not think that's Cashew's pits. I don't think that's Cashew's pits.
Okay, yeah, mistake. Oh, yes.
Actually, no,
no, it's 2 stops. 2 stops.
There's something definitely wrong with Cashew's car. They have to put the car into a 2nd service. We haven't seen the 2nd pit stop since Fuji. Ever since the government sanctioning body have allowed an increase in fuel tank size to around 60 liters. We have not seen drivers making the 2nd pit stop. But I believe Cashew's is due to a problem in the car. But I think it's mostly just because they underfueled Cashew to try to make the 2nd stop work. But as of right now, the 2nd stop is not working for Cashew, as he doesn't have time to catch up to Santini and Andrew Rakinbayev.
And of course that promotes Gibbons now up into the last podium position, but a bit of a distance away from Azad and Deporto, so sort of is on the moment. Meanwhile, Farah Kamal and Deporto very close now, 0.3 the gap. And I think the Lexus is close enough to get some of that slipstream. A decent exit from there. 0.3 the gap. 2.5 temps. 2 temps. It's closing. A Honda on the defensive line, trying to hold the inside and still goes back.
Here comes.
Deporto.
Not close enough. Not close enough for Deporto. Farah Kamal, good positioning of the car. Deporto still has the fresher tires. This is a now or never moment for Deporto. Deporto is gonna try to bring this car, the Tsunomaki Watame Lexus, to a win. He has the pace, he has the speed, and Farakawa does not have the speed at the moment. And as they barrel down the first hairpin right now, the gap is closing between Farakawa and Deporto. He could make a move around the second hairpin there into the S. The gap is not closing at the moment as Deporto does not have the pace much compared to Farakawa. The gap is still around 0.4 of a second. Round the inside. Nope, not round the inside just yet. Take it easy into the off-cambered corner. That is turn 10, the second hairpin corner. Deporto, it's time for him to get close into sector 3.
Yeah, I think Farakawa has this possibly slightly better pace than the first and a bit of the second sector, so I've slightly been able to extend that gap, but it's in the third sector where the Lexus Autopolis is going to see the gap closing again. Really 0.4 the margin now, so looking for another good exit through the penultimate corner.
Right now, Deporto, I would suggest Deporto to sacrifice his penultimate corner. Sacrifice turn 18 for turn 19, and currently the gap is only under 0.3. Deporto is tucking in behind Farakawa. He's sacrificing turn 18 for turn 19. Here's the final turn. 376, 379. Farakawa has the better exit, the better launch there off of turn 19, but Deporto is slowly catching up down into the main straight. Will Deporto make a move around the inside? Not yet for Deporto. The tires are going to be fading away for Deporto soon. If he wants to make a move for Farakawa for the race lead, it's now or never. Only 5 laps to go here in Split B Race 2.
Yeah, time running out for Deporto. Still plenty of opportunities left, but Farakawa with that advantage of track position. Like even with that, pace deficit, like it's kind of like Monaco in a way. You can be slower, but you can still hold up the pack.
And currently Deporto was trying to make a move around the hairpin into turn 1, but it's not looking good for Deporto at the moment. If he can't make the move on at the moment, and as we're going to be taking a double check into the fuel gap, everyone is good on fuel. No one is going to be making that second stop. Deporto catching Farakawa bit by bit, one by one. Gibbons is slowly losing touch of the leading pair. It's Deporto and Farakawa's race at the moment.
Yeah, that gap's still maintained around half a second, as we've usually seen towards the first and second sector, and we're expecting Deporto again to once again catch up through his third sector. As for the rest of the field, Gibbons still in a bit of no man's land at the moment, holding that final podium position. Azad and Mishnev decently close to each other, so I think there's a few other, so look at the intervals here, a few other battles to look out for. Interesting, I think there's a little bit of a battle pack towards the last points paying position with PieZello and Snooks Shoto all close to each other.
Get a good exit there off of 18 and 19 there. Deporto hang on to the gaps. Deporto 3/10. It's 3/10 and it's ticking down. Deporto is as close as it's ever been to putting Farakawa on the main straight. Can Deporto make a move around the outside? Deporto go to the inside. Farakawa around the outside. Here's the battle for the race lead. Oh, a lot of curve there for Deporto. Farakawa positions the car very well, so the Deporto has to take the inside line, and now the Deporto will have to retry that move again. But currently, as of saying this, he only has 4 attempts left to make the move.
Yeah, only 4 attempts left indeed. I think turn 1's going to be the overtaking point here. Farakawa, very good defense, just forcing Deporto onto the curb, not really able to get that exit over the bumps, just not getting that traction down, so we'll have to reset and try again.
And currently right now Deporto still has that pace advantage over Farakawa. Farakawa is still very slow off the turn. Deporto is doing everything he can, gonna eke everything out of that Tsunomaki Watame Lexus. 5/10 separate between Farakawa and Deporto. Deporto's gonna try to have a good launch here, but at this point Deporto's gonna try to hold on into the rear wing of Farakawa, get into the rear of Farakawa as close as possible. This is where Farakawa absolutely struggles. Look at the gaps go down. It's now 4/10. Back then it was 5/10 to 6/10. Here goes another slow corner. Deporto is struggling. Farakawa is struggling this time by. Here is another corner where Farakawa is struggling, but Farakawa is actually pulling away just a bit. It's now 4/10 separating between Farakawa and Deporto. Deporto really needs to have a good exit off of turn 18 and 19. 4/10, 3/10. Good exit off of the final turn. Deporto on board the number 3 Tsunomaki Watame Lexus. going to the outside if he wants to make a move for the race lead. Will Farah Kamal defend on the outside again? Yes, she does. Will the move be made once again? Pushes her just a bit wide. Farah Kamal still holds on to the race lead.
Yeah, Farah Kamal still holding on just, even despite that pace deficit in Sector 3. As we look towards the back of the field here, a decent little pack here for the last points paying position with Piezello holding that at the moment. And also, another thing of note, Phu-My, one of the main championship contenders, now back up into 7th place, so getting some points back in there.
Snook's trying to make a move around the outside of Catherine Vasilyev. Takes too much curve. Vasilyev conveniently places the car on the outside so that Snooks will take the curb. Suharto is now trying to make the offense. These two have been consistent fighters for the win back in Burram. We'll see if they will try to continue their battles here in Autopolis, and I believe so right now. And as the Porter tries to catch Farah Kamal once again.
Yeah, I think Farah Kamal just now having conserved the tyres a bit, getting that gap a bit out a bit more, but obviously now back into Sector 3. Obviously, we're both a technical and more uphill section as well after that roller coaster straight. I think the Honda just, as we look here, around the outside at Honda, turns into the inside, but not really getting the exit there.
And we're going to be taking tabs to do a good amount of battles here. The Porto has now been catching up to Farah Kamal once again. It's currently lap 20. We're going to be taking over into lap 21. On board the number 3 Sunamaki Watami Lexus once again. It's very, very close there. Get a very good exit there. The Porto, if you want to have a chance, it's a very good exit there for the Porto. It's now 2 tenths separating between the leaders. And the Porto's now going to try to make a move around the outside. Hold on to the outside. And it's going to be another switch back down the inside. Both drivers are going to be... Ooh, it's going to be pretty close there. Again, the curve for the Porto Farah Kamal. It's her outside line again for the Farah Kamal. And Farah Kamal is still holding steady on the lead with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, as close as we've seen there, and just still holding on to that outside line with that switchbacks or that dummy defense there. So, taking the inside, defending inside, and going back to the outside for the ideal line.
And currently the Porto having the better car at the moment in terms of pace. Farah Kamal is turning that Honda into an unpassable wall, as it seemed over the past 10 to 15 laps here. The last 10 laps that we're seeing at the moment. This is going to be one of the most. This is one of the best battles in Hall GT3 that we have seen so far, between two drivers battling out for a race win. The Porto is still 5 tenths behind Farah Kamal for the race lead.
Yes, that gap is just eking slowly, still maintaining at around 5 tenths. As we look also to the rest of the field, that battle for 10th place still going. 3 tenths the gap between Piezello and Snooks, and still keeping tabs on another. We'll keep you updated on as well. But obviously the main event here, the battle for the lead, once again back into Sector 3. The Porto just decreasing that gap with that superior performance.
And currently Farah Kamal is holding on for dear life in that stricken car. Not exactly stricken, but the car is off the pace compared to the Porto. It's the Porto's race to win, Farah Kamal's race to lose. The Porto get a good exit there. Only 3 tenths separate the two cars. Farah Kamal now has the better launch. And now the Porto using the slipstream and the pace advantage. Will he make a move around the outside? Again, Farah Kamal holds on to the inside line. It's the penultimate lap here at the moment. The Porto is getting desperate just a bit against Farah Kamal, who has positioned her car at her best. And now the Porto will have possibly one last real shot of winning this race.
Yeah, one last opportunity, but as I said, Farah Kamal just putting the car in exactly the right places for that defensive drive, and just reducing the amount of opportunities. I think he said one more opportunity. There isn't really anywhere else to go for an overtake at this point.
And as we're about to get into the final lap, here it is, the Porto and Farah Kamal. Vasilyev still holding on to 10th place. And I'm just gonna notify to some of the people. And right now, the gap between the Porto and Farah Kamal is still 5 tenths. This is gonna be one of the best races that we have seen so far in Hall GT3, and we'll wait and see if the second half of the season will deliver just as that. The Porto is in the 3rd sector. This is where he has the pace. He has the tires, he has the car to beat Farah-Kamal, but Farah-Kamal is going to make it absolutely difficult for Deporto. Whatever the case is, Deporto is going to come out smiling if he manages to hold on to second, as this will mean that he will, regardless of positions, if he wins this battle or not, he will be able to finish in the best finishing position in the Tsunamaki Watame Lexus. And here it is, the final lap of the race. Deporto is getting quite close. Close, not close enough. Deporto is eking out the gap between himself and Deporto side by side. It's the final lap of the race here in Autopolis. Covers the outside once again. Deporto on the inside. Does not make the move stick. It's Farah-Kamal's race. It's going to be... it has been a very amazing race that we have seen so far. Farah-Kamal holding on to first place for dear life. Deporto now has next to no chance to win this race. And with Farah-Kamal usually at this point giving Deporto no room to pass, Farah-Kamal is going to be breaking the Lexus stronghold that the Lexus has been holding since the start of the round in Split A. It's Brendan McConley who won the first race in Split A for the Hoshin Marine car. It's going to be... and it was Alex Bowen who won the second race on Split A in the Shirogane Noel car. In Split B, the first race 1 was won by Thomas Snook, who's currently out of points in the number 43 Shishiro Botan Lexus. And it's going to be a Gen 5 sweep for Split B, as as the driver of the number 63 Yukihana Lamy Honda, Farah-Kamal has put himself in the best position possible to win this race. It's Shishiro Bota and Yukihana Lamy in this split, who are part of Gen 5. And for Farah-Kamal, she has done a monumental defense to hold on to Porto in the best way possible. Farah-Kamal runs all the final 2 turns. For all the Yukimin out there, and for Yukihana Lamy, Farah-Kamal is going to show everyone who's the boss. Farah-Kamal is going to win at Autopolis. Deporto, wait a minute. Yes, Deporto will hold on to second place. A very good result for Deporto. Take it as you will. Take it as you will. Deporto was trying his best to snatch the win away from Farah-Kamal, but it just wasn't meant to be. Deporto gave it everything he got. He gave it everything for Tsunamaki Watame and all the Watamates. It was amazing from the time they have started. From the time they both made their pit stop, from the time Farah-Kamal overtook him on the race lead, you know we're going to be seeing something special. Callum Gibbons finishes 3rd, edges ahead even more towards Phu-My, who scores his second consecutive 7th place finish. Azar and the Mashina scores for their 4th and 5th. Leo, a respectable run in 6th place. Phu-My in 7th, Petrov 8th, Rajiv Kaczynski 9th, and Captain Vasilia manages to hold off Snooks to Harto, Rakim Bayev, and Tantini, and Mohamed Cashew for the final podium spot. Wow, what an amazing race that was.
Yeah, man, I hope your throat's alright there. You're getting quite up there towards the end, but absolutely amazing defensive drive, just putting the car in all the right places and stopping that Lexus clean sweep for the round.
And as it stands at the moment, we're going to be updating the full championship standings on the Adak-RMS Twitter, but yes, it's confirmed Phu-My will defend his championship standings heading into Twin Ring Motegi for the next 2 weeks time. But at this point, Callum Gibbons has closed the gap to a point where it's anyone's guess on who gets to win the championship. And as for Farah-Kamal, she's just so excited. She just wants to continue racing. But whatever the case is very amazing for Farah-Kamal. In her second Hololive GT3 Japan Series start, she manages to win. How amazing that was.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Indeed, probably one of the best defensive drives we've seen in this series and one of the best battles overall we've seen. Like, we haven't necessarily had those leader battles as we usually do, so it was great stuff.
So we're going to be updating the race results after this. Farah-Kamal takes the win, which Matej Wanda Porto will have to wait another day if he wants to challenge for the win. Callum Gibbons 3rd, Azad 4th, Tomasz Nevik, Kizar Leo 6th, Phu-My 7th, Sergei Petrov 8th, Kaczynski 9th, Vasiliev in 10th. Thomas Nurse 11th, Wawans Harto 12th, and Rakim Bayev 13th, Santini 14th, And Muhammad Cashew rounds off the final places in 15th place. And whatever the case is, it has been very amazing. We're going to be transitioning over into the championship, but we would like to do so actually. But given that there was a bit of an issue with Content Manager, we're going to have to wait until later on. I will be updating you guys on the Adak-RMS Twitter of the championship context. But whatever the case is, one thing is concerned, Vasilev is dropping down the championship standings. Cal Gibbons holds on to second, and Phu-My will hold on to the championship lead heading into Motegi. And that is where we will actually end the stream here due to discrepancies with the championship standings. But whatever the case is, we really hope you enjoyed the stream, the battle here. We're gonna be definitely be clipping this battle later on into the season, or whatever the case is. It was amazing to see, and and we hope you enjoyed the whole GT3 Japan series for round 5 at Buram. Autopolis, for everyone here to see. And obviously, it's been very fun to watch for everyone. And as always, we'll see you next time for when we go to round 6. At this time, we'll be heading over to Twin Ring Motegi. I'm Mama Shasen Reza, and with Callum Gibbons here, and we wish you a very good day and maybe a happy Hololive, but whatever the case, have a good day to everyone.